dubartiin 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 amaana rabbiiti jabeessi jabees jabaatu jabeessi jabees amaana jabeessi jabees jabaatu jabeessi jabees amaana jabeessi. Iddoo kanaaf dorgomuudhaaf yeroo jalqabaa dhiira miti dubartii obboleettii keenya Amaane Badhaasooti harka keessa caanaa godhaafi. Intala keenya, dhiiga keenya, lammii keenya, obboleettii keenya har'a immoo iddoo kanatti hamilee guddaadhaan indoorsi gochuuf gargaaruudhaaf gara iddoo sanaatti erguudhaaf achi keessa St. Paul districtii afaffaaf akkasuma immoo dhimma Oromootiif. Bakka buutee hojjechuudhaaf gara kanatti ergaa jirra. Waan tokko lama ergin jedhee booddee sagantaa guyyaa irraattis hin dabarsa. Maaliif iddoo kana jira? Maaliif deeggaruun nu barbaachisa? Maaliif cina hiriiruun nu barbaachisa? Maaliif waan qabnuun, hamilee qabnuun, yeroo qabnuun, qabeenya qabnuun, dandeettii qabnuun maaliif Amaanee Badhaasoo cina dhaabachuun nurra jira? Gaaffii kana of gaafadha. Gaaffii inni jalqabaa deebiinsaa.
Amaanee jechuun represent lugootii akka dubartiitis akka Oromootittis nu fayyaddi community keenya rakkina keenya quuqaa saba minority Minnesota keessa jiraatu isitu nu ibsa jennee waan amannuuf haga isiin achi geettutti bira dhaabbannaa. Mucattiin tun immoo gaafa isiin xiqqoo Keeniyaatti isii beekaa as geettee immoo jaccimtuu waan taateef bakka kana geette akka dubartiitis akka saba Oromootittis isii bira dhaabbanna jechuudha. Waaqni bakka saniin isii haa ga'u.
Saambool guyyaan kun guyyaa walitti dhufne Amaanee mucayyoo teenna tana filachuu fi alii walitti dhufne isii deeggaruu isii gargaaruu wanni deeggaruufis uummata Oromoolleef bu'aa qabdi isinleef bu'aa qabdi fakkii nama hedduulleef taate akka gaariif waan gaariilleef nuu deemte jennee abdii baay'eellee waan qabnuuf haalli isiin kun yoo isii deeggaruu baanne waan biraa qabaachuu hin dandeenyu uf qofaa deeggaruu miti jiga baafachuu qabna ollas yaadas dardara jirus waan kana ibsine waan kana qajeelchine harka dheeraan laallee fuula bal'aan laallee isii filachuu fi dirqama keenyallee tahee jaalalateennallee tahee nu abdii boriillee tahee hunda kanaaf waan gaarii jennee irra guddaa wanni goonuuf kana namni guyyaa kana immoo akka mirgaa yaadan akka nu feenu nuun dhufne amma eeggatu jirra gizeen guddoon dhufte inshaallahu duuban laallee wanni irra nu deddeebisuu fi wanni nu haasofsiisu yoo jiraatte in haasofna jenneellee abdii qabna.
Sababni Amaanee deeggaruuf nuyi yeroo jalqabaaf Oromoo keessatti mucayyoon asitti guddatte nu keessaa baatee wanta kana ga'uu isheen baay'ee gammanneerra. Bu'aa Oromoof qabu wanti kun nu yeroo baay'ee biyya kana keessatti sagalee keenya dhageessisu baay'ee dhamaa turre. Garuu nama tokko akka isheetti yoo naannoo sanatti qabaannee dhaamsa keenya nu fedhii keenya waan rakkina keenya nuuf afaan keenya nama dubbatu argannaa achi keessa kanaaf support goona Amaanee waan guddaadha Oromoof wanti kuni.
Wannummaan as jiru har'a intala teenya obboleettii teenya Amaneforcongress fi support godhuuf filuuf si bira dhaabbachuuf as jirra. Mucayyoon kana asirraa achi deemuun nuuf gargaarsa guddaa hamilee guddaa nu ta'a haga dhumaa waan dandeenyuun humnaan qarshiin namni Oromoo kan Minnesota duwwaa doon ta'inu ka biyya jirtan irratti hirmaadha adaraa isinitti dhaammanna.
Wanti as dhufnee fi Amaanee support godhuu fi isii gargaaruu fi wajjin dhaabatuu qabna. Maaliif future ilmaan teennaaf akka jajjabaatanii edaa wanti akkanaa hin jira kan jedhu jaraafis hamilee ta'a. Kanaafuu gargaaruu ni qabna warroonni amma nu ilaalaa jiraatan yoo jiraatan please warri St. Paul keessa akka baatanii Amaanee bira nu dhaabattan isiniin jenna qaamaanis akkasuma diinagdeedhaanis akka nu gargaartan isiniin jenna galatooma.
I am a resident in Minnesota. I've been in Minnesota for about 25 years. And this is the first time I see any Oromo, even girl or a boy or a guy or a girl running for an office. It means a lot to our community. I'm so excited to support her. She's breaking glass ceiling for an Oromo in Minnesota or even in the United States, I think.
Let's stand with her. She's energetic, young, creative, productive for her minority community and minority immigrants.
It is because of you that we get to bring our message, that it's time for somebody to fight for the working class families of District 4. It is because of you that we get to bring that message to the rest of everybody in the district.
Ijoollee keenyatti hamilee itti hora. Ijoollee keenya kana sitti dhalatte yookaan dhalatte iddoo kana dhufte namni biyya kanatti yoo hojjete yoo xaare yoo dadhabe yoo barate yoo of qopheesse daangaan guddinaa hin jiru hamma eessaatti iyyuu guddachuu danda'a ka jedhu keessa ka'a.
The number one way, and the number one way you can help us, is to make sure that everybody you know in the 4th District shows up on February 1st.
My name is Hayat Abdullahi. You might know me as the daughter of Farhan Abdullahi and Muntaha Isa. I came here to speak to you all today about something that I would like to call the beginning. The beginning for change. The beginning for equality. And the beginning to help those who are close to us. Fighting for justice is not something that is easy, nor is it something that anybody can do. However, it is something that can be foreseeable if we choose to do something about it. Mahatma Gandhi once said to be the change you wish to see in this world. It is time that we stop waiting for an outside actor and take up the mantle for ourselves to be our own innate actor and strive for change and equality. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you all to imagine this scenario. A little boy is asked what he wants to be when he grows up. The answer that he gives is alive. A little girl is asked what she wants to be when she grows up. The answer that she gives is safe. Think about what these things mean. It is heartbreaking to hear our youth already acknowledging the fact that the system has already been pit against us from the moment we are born. As a parent, as a sibling, as a sister and a brother, the level of insecurity that is within our standards as a community is no longer acceptable and should definitely not be tolerable. Since I was a little girl, my parents have not presented me the possibilities that have been provided to me. They have presented me the possibilities of which I should have been entitled to already. When I say this, I mean that although the system that has been created by our United States government has not been specifically designated to cater towards our people and our community, with the sole purpose of only helping us. However, as I say this, the system for our community has not exactly been catered to us by the government that has been given. Because of this, it is making it very hard for us to seek new educational benefits or containing and obtaining the powers that can help us make a change. It has made it so that we have to work twice as hard in order to get to where the average person already is today. Because of this, we need to ask the question, why? Why don't we see our kids getting accepted into any gifted programs when they are smart enough? Why are we being profiled everywhere we go? Why are we not seen as people too? The answer to this is very simple, actually, when you think about it. The answer to that is because we do not have power, and we lack the ability to gain a higher form of education. To me, education is one of the most valuable things that this world can offer us. The amount of knowledge that is to be gained from reading, going to school, and listening to your teachers is one of the most important things that everybody should remember. I graduated high school with the highest honors and participated in many clubs and activities, such as speech and debate. Not because I was forced to, but because I felt obligated to. I had this innate feeling that in order to get to the position where I wanted to be in life, I had to do more. I had to do more than what I was given. Something that I would like to recognize that most people in the younger generations don't know is that there is a significant difference between reality and what you see in movies or in TVs. In the real world, you can have many things taken from you. You can have your pride, money, innate objects, and sadly, even those you love. However, the one thing that can never be taken away from you is your education. The knowledge that you gained is only known to two people, and that is you and Allah. Nobody else. No one else can take that away from you. If I were to insist one thing from everybody here today, it is to value your education. This is something that I insist upon, not just for yourself, but for your loved ones. One of the most dangerous sins that is in this world is not lying, not cheating, and not even harming others, but it is being ignorant of the things that surround you. Earlier on in my speech, I mentioned one of the solutions to problems that we face today in our communities as power. I mentioned power because often both education and power both go hand in hand. Without education, you cannot hope to maintain power. And without power, you cannot hope to expand or advance your education. Something that I notice in our community is that the power we lack in government institutions, both at the federal and the state level, is something that can change right now in the present. In order to meet the needs of our children, in order to meet the needs of the future generation. In the year of 2020, Rutgers gave a statistic that out of the 535 people in the current 117th Congress, only 126 of them are women. And only about 26% of those are women of color. Out of the 2,197 women who are in state legislatures, only 6 are reported to be of Middle Eastern/East African descent. And of those East Africans, none of them are Oromo. As of now, we have no one in the Oromo/Ethiopian community who can help set an example for the future generation to show us what we should be able to have is no lesser than any other child who was born from a Caucasian or from a person who is in the majority as of now. saying this, it makes me proud, and it is an absolute honor to introduce the congressional candidate, Amane Badhasso.
Hi! How are you guys doing? Awesome. So I'm going to hold the mic. I was very clear with my team that this was my worst nightmare, is to hold the mic and talk, because I have like 4 cups of coffee a day, so it's always a challenge. And so if you hear me breathing a little bit too much, bear with me. We're going to get through this together. I am so honored to spend this Saturday with you on the weekend of Thanksgiving. I am humbled by your presence and support today, because you have always been my backbone and support system. Thank you for believing in our movement for transformative change and our progressive new vision for Minnesota. I am fighting for the same fights, the fights for justice that you have all been embarking on since we came to this country. We have endured trauma and left family members behind to make America our new home. Because this country, our country, is one that offered safety, security, and opportunity. And our country thrives on one incredible idea, that when we come together and we work together, we can make a better future for ourselves and for the next generation. And so I want to make an ask of you, a really critical and important ask. Let's work together to build the future we can all believe in. Let's build an economy that will work to ensure that everyone, not everyone in this room, but across this country, gets to have access to the American dream. Let's also make sure that our children get an excellent education so that they can aspire for more, build generational wealth, and give back to our communities. Let's also boldly fight for environmental justice and finally do something to save our planet. But let's also acknowledge that those who are most impacted by the climate crisis are our Black, brown, and Indigenous communities. Now we must tackle the climate crisis with an objective lens of who will suffer the most as our politics get stuck in the mud. Let's fight for our community members who are suffering, our families, those struggling to pay rent, people drowning in medical debt, millennials like myself struggling to make student loan payments amidst a global pandemic, and parents who are simply trying to get by and hopefully pay for their children's college education. Let's also fight for a humane immigration system that sees the dignity in all of us and honors the values we hold so dear as Americans. Now I want something to be really clear, because I know folks want to know what we're talking about when we talk about transformative change. Tackling these issues is critical and necessary for our country to move forward. And I've got some exciting news for all of you. I am happy to share that our movement is gaining momentum. You have been the source of our strength. Your stories, resilience, and trust in us keeps us going. And your faith, very early on, that we can make history and elect a champion of the working class to the United States Congress is what emboldens me. Not that you need it, but here's a brief history. Over some 40 years ago, fellow Oromo community members moved to this cold state of Minnesota, and I was born in Garakaka, so for me it wasn't new. But ever since, you have all been champions for change, advocates for our community, and have been leaders, whether you know it or not, have been leaders in the progressive causes by always standing up for human rights and always marching for human rights. So thank you for being bold and courageous. It is your vision for America and the world that has always been my backbone. So I want you to know, and I need you guys to make a note of this, that I stand on the shoulders of giants like you. The people who have always inspired me, taught me to be an organizer, to be courageous in my pursuit, and to have the audacity to run for U.S. Congress today. You are the strength of our movement, but I want folks to hear this. You are the strength and the future of these United States. Now I look around this room and I see incredible moms doing everything, and I mean everything, to take care of their families and sacrificing everything. And I see dads who have been great role models, training our young leaders and elders who have truly served as our library and authors of our past challenges, and those who are able to remind us constantly, as they did up here, of how far we've come. We have service workers in this room who keep us moving forward in a global pandemic. Business owners who are contributing to sustaining our economy and employing our folks and helping families survive and have fair access to the American dream. We also have healthcare professionals who are my heroes in this fight against a brutal global pandemic that has taken over 700,000 of our fellow Americans and has plaguing folks around the world. And they share my vision of a dignified healthcare system that will exist to actually save lives and not just for profit. We also have community leaders who sacrifice their time and energy to serve all of us, and my deepest gratitude to all of you. We also have religious leaders who provide strength to our community in good and bad times, who also happen to be my dear friends. Don't ask why. I appreciate their guidance, and I thank them for standing with us, because they truly know what it means to fight for justice and to believe in fighting for justice. There's something unique about this movement that we are building here in my 4th district. Our campaign is about building power and finally delivering on the promises made to our working class families. And my vision for Minnesota includes you, it includes our families, and it includes every single person across the state and nation. And over the next year, we will lay the groundwork for a movement that will restore power to our community and to our democracy. We will organize to uplift our families and strengthen our community in Minnesota and absolutely build power. Now, when I decided to run, I've heard some encouraging words from folks who truly understand that we have been waiting for a very long time for a champion of the working class and folks that look like us. I have been hearing that it wasn't my turn as well. That Congress wasn't ready for a working class, millennial female candidate like me. That Minnesota wasn't ready for a young person born in Ethiopia and the first Oromo American Congresswoman. But I happen to disagree. And I think you're all here because you disagree too. And so I want us to send a message to the folks that I have been waiting to send a message to. Congress is ready for a new leadership fighting for working class families. Congress is ready for us. Congress is ready for our movement, and the time is now. It is today. It is this moment. And it is time that our movement for transformative change and a new vision for this country goes to the people's house. And I want to thank you once again for being my backbone and strength. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your trust, because I believe in earning your trust and not just having it, and for your continued support, because what we are going to do this coming election cycle is make history. And I thank you for being on the journey with me really this fast. I love you all. Thank you.
My name's Maddie. I've met most of you, but I wanted to take this moment to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our campaign team's heart, from the bottom of Amane's heart. It is because of you that I get to do the job that I love every single day. It is because of you that we get to bring our message, that it's time for somebody to fight for the working class families of District 4. It is because of you that we get to bring that message to the rest of everybody in the district. Yes. And I can't express how thankful we are for you, for being here, for showing up, and for continuing to be the backbone that holds our campaign together. So thank you. I also wanted to thank some of our generous donors who have donated the opportunity for us to have this event today. So the Ame Event Center, Dilla Restaurant, and Qatar Restaurant were the ones who made this event happen. So I want to thank them as well. And I want to express the opportunity that's in front of us, right? You'll see on your table that there's a map of the 4th district. There's also a big one on the wall in the back. If you live in that district, or if you know people who live in that district, and all of you do, showing up on February 1st to caucus for Amane is the #1 thing you can do to help, the #1 thing. Anybody above the age of 17 can come out, as long as you will be 18 by next November, by Election Day. Supporting Amane to get the Democratic endorsement from the DFL party is the #1 way that we can say, we are here, listen to us, we are here, we want power, right? That is the #1 way to shake up the system, okay? So there's a flyer with details on the table. Every neighborhood has a different caucus location. So there's a website where you put in your address and it tells you where to go. That website isn't yet working for 2022, but it will be shortly. So I wanted to make sure you have it. I also wanted to make sure you had all the details you need so that you can take that flyer, you can take a picture of it, you can send it to the people in your phone, you can post it on your social media right after this event. If you ever have questions, please call me, text me, Facebook message me, do anything. Again, my name is Maddie, and I wanted to say thank you.
Namni tokko hin dhalata, hin guddata. Yoo guddatu processi adda addaa keessa dabree namni tokko kama maatii qofa ta'a. Namni tokko ka sabaa ta'a. Namni biroo ammoo ka addunyaatu ta'uu danda'a. Amaneen badhaasoo teenna tan addunyaa akka nuu taatu hawwii qabnaa. Yoo hawwii qabaanne wanni nu gargaaruun waa lamaa sadi qofa. Galatooma. Takka yoo distriktii isii keessa jiraatan Febraarii tokko gadi baatanii iddoon itti kaakas godhan yookaan mootu nuu taatii isii nu dabruu qabdi jedhanii bakki itti dubbatan fuuldura hin ibsama. Febraarii tokko irratti. Kan biroo ammootu ka godhuu dandeessan maalidha? Nama naannoo kana keessa hin galle yoo taatan gara biraa yoo galtan fakkeenyaaf ani gangala. Nama naannoo kana keessa galu fira qaba ammoo nama san hin bahi bakka san dhaqe. Guyyaan sun guyyaa teena kiyya keeti jennee nama naannoo kana galu kakaasnee yaadachiifnee bakka kaakasiisan akka dhaqu godhuun dirqama nurraa eeggamu tokko jechaadha. Sadaffaa namni keenya isii ka gargaaruun maali hoo jettan maallaqa. Maallaqaan wanna dandeettan gargaaruu waa mara akka hojjetu addunyaa kanarra akkuma isin beektan maallaqa. Maallaqaan gargaaruun dirqama nutti haa ta'u. Homa dandeen doolara 20 illee hoo taate differensii fitti. Homa dandeettan gumaachaa. Homa dandeettan godha. Yoo waa argitanillee yoo waa dhageettanillee kaampeenii kanaaf hin gargaare hojjettan yaada hoo qabaattan himaa itti. Keessumaanuu maappii kana keessa maappii kana fudhadhaa gala namni hundinuu makiinaa keessan keessa kaawwadhaa.
Oromia 11